Okay, I promise. Are we okay? Okay. Are we okay? I promise not to walk in front of the projector, and if I'm going to unplug anything, I have to unplug everything. That was my marching orders for this morning, so bear with me as I try not to do either of those things. It is so wonderful to be here this morning on behalf of your Texas Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry. I got sent here on behalf of them to tell about all the great things that all of us together have done, but what a gift. Y'all are so fun. I have never heard Love Train in a church in my entire life. Good stuff. I love to be with Unitarian Universalists. It's my happy place. And what's not to love, right? Here's this intentional community who come together not because of some creed or doctrine that we share. Heck, we don't even share a belief in a God, some of us. But what we do share is a belief in a more just world for everyone, and a way of merging that with spirituality. It's a beautiful thing. I know for me, it has amplified my social justice work in a way that I can't even really articulate. I love it. I love us. And the fact that I'm a Unitarian Universalist is a complete fluke. I had no idea you existed. I grew up in West Texas in a fundamentalist church, and when I was a young adult, I said, no, thank you. And for years, I didn't need church. I didn't want religion. I filled the church size hole in my heart with social justice work, and I was fine. And then a friend invited me to go sign a petition at her church. Clearly, I was one of y'all's because I woke up early on a Sunday morning to go sign a petition, right? So I get there, I sign the petition, I'm in, I'm out. That's what I'm thinking, in and out. I don't know what you use are, I'm in and out. But like today, the music was amazing, and I was intrigued. And then I went in, and the minister, who was queer, so instantaneous healing for this human, the minister was queer, and he was talking about how systems of supremacy harm us all, and how our job is to work against them. I fell in love. So much healing happened that day. And clearly it has changed the trajectory of my life because I'm up here today preaching. It was amazing. And it was a complete fluke. You know that joke we tell, we're the best kept secret? I don't think that's cute. I actually find it kind of frightening. Because right now there is so much marginalization and oppression and violence over the regular session and the 4 special sessions that have happened. Immigrants and asylum seekers have been attacked. SB 4, which was just passed, will make it more dangerous for communities. Racial profiling will go up. Asylum seekers will have a harder time getting onto U.S. soil where they can claim asylum. The oppression the LGBTQ plus folks have experienced is all-time high. Trans people can no longer play in school sports all the way up through college, thanks to this last regular session. And trans children can no longer receive gender-affirming care in their own state. All while the governor's directive to treat gender-affirming care as child abuse hangs over the heads of parents and guardians. It's heavy just talking about it. There is so much pain. There is so much harm. And then we have this. We're existing in a world where people are experiencing a complete lack of connection. They're isolated. And it's not because we're not around each other. It's not because of the pandemic. We are around each other. It's just that people are no longer connected to one another. And our current Surgeon General says that that leads to rates of mental and physical health crises that are unheard of. So what do we do when we got this beautiful thing, this connecting thing, this way that we work for justice, the way that we believe that we can show up in the world in a way that people will have a softer landing? And we got people who are disconnected, oppressed and marginalized, and feeling alone. Well, I take my lead from John Murray. Now, this is not actually a quote by him, and if you'd like to know the weird history afterwards, I will geek out with you for ages. But let's pretend it's John Murray, who was a Universalist minister over 200 years ago, who sought to bring the good news of universal salvation to America. It says, "Go out into the highways and byways of America. You may possess only a small light, but uncover it. Let it shine. Use it in order to bring more light and understanding to the hearts and minds of men and women. Give them not hell, but hope and courage. Do not push them deeper into their theological despair, but preach the kindness and everlasting love of God." We could update that. It could be a little bit more in line with our theology and our language today, but y'all, it's good. It's really good. And it's really convicting. So convicting. Now, if you're sitting in your seats and you're starting to squirm, maybe you're feeling a little tightness and you're thinking, is this woman telling me I need to go evangelize? Yeah, 100%, that is exactly what I'm telling you to do. We have too good of a thing going on, and the stakes are too high not to. But that tension, that's for good reason, right? Evangelism has come with a whole history of violence, paternalism, imperialism. We don't want to do that. So it's good to know what can happen when you think your way is the only way. I'm a proper pluralist, so I know that Unitarian Universalism is not for everybody, but it's for some who need us. And the second thing that might be making you cringe a little bit right now is that Christian nationalism has completely taken over religion in this country. People associate religion with Christian nationalism. And that's not good for anybody. It's not good for progressive Christians. It's not good for Unitarian Universalists. But I can see why we would shy away from talking about ourselves as religious people. At least we'd be lumped in with the Christian nationalists. You're not going to meet anyone who can whip out a butt faster than me. I'm in seminary, but I'm cool. I'm going to be a minister, but not those kind of ministers. So I get it. I totally understand. But we're still accountable to do the work of justice. We're still here because we believe people should have a softer landing. And people, they need us. So what are we going to do? Now, I'm not a part of this community, so I don't know exactly what it looks like for y'all. But I have some ideas. The first is we have to internalize our UU identity. I had a parishioner tell me once that she used to say, I go to this Unitarian Universalist church. And then eventually, she started to say, I am a Unitarian Universalist. And this was very empowering for her. It led her to the Capitol and to the protests and all the places where injustices were happening. And she would show up into those legislators' office and say, I'm a Unitarian Universalist, and my faith compels me to speak out against this gender-affirming care ban, the voter suppression ban, the attacks on immigrations, whatever manner of hell they've concocted that day. I'm speaking out against it because my faith compels me. That's powerful, y'all. I used to be a health coach, and I know that whatever we say we are, whatever our identity is, we will protect it at all cost, even if it hurts us. I used to have clients who wanted to be runners, but they would tell me, I'm not a runner. Do you think they ever woke up and went for a run? No. You only protect who you say you are. So we need to internalize who we are as Unitarian Universalists. And then we got to show up. We got to don our yellow shirts, even though it's not some people's color. We got to go to all the places of power. We got to go to the school board, even if you don't have kids, because don't you know, education affects everyone. You got to go to the city council. You got to go to the protest. You got to go to Action Hour through TextUGym. If you can, you got to go to the Capitol or call your legislators or call your Congress people. We show up with our faith. And when we do, y'all, we make an impact. I bet several of you fought against these voucher bills that have come up regular session and all 4 special sessions. Who else is tired by the special sessions, by the way? It kind of takes away the specialness if you just always have special sessions. Like, let's just call it another session. So this week, that voucher piece of the bill of HB 1 was taken out. And the word is that it's going to die. Yes. Hopefully, we won't have another not special section. But for now, that's work that we have done, and that's amazing. When we get together, we can do things. Even if it's donating, so Reverend Aaron and Michelle can be at the Capitol for those long, long days and nights. We do so much good together. And you might be thinking, didn't you just list all the horrible things that happened last session? Yeah, bad stuff's been happening. People are being harmed. And y'all, living in Texas as a progressive person, I understand how that can chip away at your hope. But this is the long game. And we are more organized as a religion than ever before. We are making partnerships with other really strong organizations, and we are doing the work. We are getting more sophisticated, and because we are going out there and saying, I'm a Unitarian Universalist, and this is against my faith, people are hearing us, and we are then not allowing a vacuum to be created so that only one type of person gets to use their religion as a talking point. We cannot secede ground anymore to people. We have a voice too. So it's a long game. And we're doing really well. Equality Texas is one of our partners. There were over 100 bad anti-LGBTQIA+ bills this session. And I think it's about 95 to 97 that were killed. Y'all, we did that work. Ricardo Martinez, the CEO of Equality Texas, wrote this about us. We went into session hoping that we would have vocal allies, dependable collaborators willing to do the work, and moments anchored in joy. With TextUGym's involvement, we had all of that and then some. I have been profoundly moved by just how often your folks mobilize. I know this was a hard session for everyone, but if we succeeded at something big, it was at bringing our various movements closer together. Y'all, this is the long run. This session would not have gone the way it did had we not had your help. We are eternally grateful for all our UU extended family. It's a long game. We plant seeds knowing we'll never see the tree. but we do it because this is what our faith compels us to do. But also, I'm impatient, so maybe I don't want always the long game, right? People are hurting in the here and now. So let me leave you with the last little bit of what I think is the real good news. That is when we show up in our yellow shirts at Action Hour, through donations, however it is we can and are able to show up, we impact people in the here and the now. When you are targeted for marginalization, when you are targeted for oppression, to me, the most insidious thing about that is that your marginalization is codified in law. They are telling you, you should feel alone. You don't matter. But when those yellow shirts started popping up at this last session, it speaks a completely different message. To those who are targeted for marginalization and oppression, our presence means you do matter. You are loved. Your pain is witnessed by us. That we hold you in community. That we fight for you and we will continue to fight for you. Because you, my friends, are full of inherent worth and dignity. When we show up, we bring to people who are targeted for marginalization and oppression in the here and now hope, not hell. May it always be so.
Please join in singing our closing hymn, With It All Stripped Away. This song may not be familiar to you, but it's easy, and its gospel feel will resonate with many of you.